On today's episode, we talk about the legendary self-help guru, Tony Robbins, coming right up. In today's episode, you're going to feel empowered, unstoppable, and gain the tools to accomplish anything you can dream of, using real examples from some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. That's all happening today on the I Can Show. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the I Can Show podcast, where we explore the realm of possibilities and how you can succeed in your passion. My name is James Martin. I'm super happy that you're joining us once again today. We're talking about the legendary Tony Robbins. Well, before we get started, if there's any tips or advice that really resonated with you and Tony's story today, please let me know either down in the comments below, wherever you're listening or watching this, or please send us an email at icanshowpodcast@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. I'm super excited because, Tony Robbins is a very unique and special individual. He's like the king, not even the king, he's like the titan of all life coaches, relationship coaches, business coaches, you name it. His whole life has been dedicated to figuring out what makes people happy and successful, and then teaching that formula, that science, that math to other people and helping them get from spot A to spot Z. And it's so interesting, his perspective. And you're talking about a guy who's not only spoken to billionaires, millionaires, young, old, all over the world. He has such a vast knowledge of people he's really interacted with, and he has very special talents. I really highly encourage all of you, as what I've done is gone on YouTube, and you can find so many of his speaking engagements, some clips from his seminars and whatnot on YouTube. Just be aware, when he explains something, it does take quite a bit of time. There's quite a lot of detail he goes into it. So if you're looking for advice on life, make sure you set aside about an hour of your time, because that's probably how long the clips are going to be. But very worth it nonetheless. So, where was Tony born and how did he grow up? He actually had a very interesting story, but according to Wikipedia.com, Anton Jai Robbins, born February 29th, 1960, is an American author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and life coach. Robbins is known for his infomercial seminars and self-help books, including Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within. Robbins is the founder of several companies that earn approximately $6 billion in annual sales. In 2015 and 2016, he was listed as the Worth Magazine Power 100 list. All right. Where was he born? So, as I said, Robbins was born as Anthony J. Mahafarik in North Hollywood, California on February 29th, 1960. His mom, Nikki, took care of him more so than his father. At age 7, his parents divorced and he stayed with his father. At age 9, he moved back with his mother and wanted to impress her with good grades. So at age 11, his mom divorced again and then remarried to a baseball player named John Robbins. At age 13, the family was so poor that they didn't have enough to celebrate Thanksgiving, but they found a package of food on their doorstep all of a sudden with everything that they would need to celebrate the holidays. He made himself a promise that day that one day he would be so successful that he would be able to help others in need, and he actually has done so today. Because of his adopted dad, John, Tony originally wanted to become a baseball player. Even though Tony lost so many games, John always boosted Tony's confidence. By the 9th grade, Tony would change his passion to instead be writing about sports. However, instead of starting with interviewing local sports players and coaches, he would sought out some of the biggest celebrities that he could find, like Howard Cosell. The press noticed what Tony was doing and offered him a job in their newspaper covering the sports. Later, Tony was offered to be on TV to be a commentator for the sports. His mom didn't want Tony to get carried away since he was only 15 and was getting a lot of attention, so she pulled him out of everything. This made Tony very devastated. He would also later become a high school president at his school due to his charm, willingness to find solutions, and his ability to be friends with everyone. But no matter how successful Tony was outside the house, his mother always wanted Tony to stay at the house to help out. On Christmas Eve in 1977, just after a screaming match between Tony and his mother, out of anger, Tony stormed out of his house with nothing but the clothing on his back to go out and venture on his own. He moved in with his friends, paying $50 a week and working nights as a janitor at a bank owned by his uncle. Later, due to his mother's involvement, Tony was fired as a janitor. Later, Tony became a salesman for a music club, and that he would go door to door and selling the stuff. California at this time was huge in spiritual help, so one day, a previous client of Tony invited him to a motivational seminar, and that's where Tony figured out what he really wanted to do. At age 17, Tony quickly learned from his employer, John Ron, about teaching other people about self-development and became obsessed with learning about the craft. Even though Tony was becoming increasingly successful, earning up to $10,000 a month, he started losing his friends because they were jealous of him and left him alone. Tony fell quick into a depression that led his business to decline, and because he was not taking care of himself, he started to gain weight. At age 21, he was forced to downscale his business and found himself fat, broke, and alone. Although he hit rock bottom, Tony learned how to turn his life around and use that to help others turn their lives around for the better. At 22, Tony met a person that could walk across hot coal, but could concentrate so hard that his feet wouldn't get burned, and later we used this technique in his seminars to teach people how to get over their fears. He would launch his first book later on called Unlimited Power. He also appeared on TV once and then showcased his ability to firewalk, which helped him reach huge success. And then the long story short, his seminars exploded. He went from very small audiences to growing and growing and growing. Now his seminars are like 4 days long. Sometimes they're a week, all day, every day for a week. Teaches millions and millions of people all across the world, does tons of speaking engagements, and is just continuing to impact more and more lives to this day. Tony has always believed that you are always in control of your life and that everything you do changes with your mindset. All right, so question of the day. What lesson from Tony Robbins' life has encouraged you to pursue your passion in your field? All right, I want to hear your thoughts either down in the comments below, or please shoot us an email at icanshowpodcast@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. And if you would like to support this podcast further, I'd love to invite you to our merchandise shop at shop.spreadshirt.ca/iCanShow. When you purchase our merchandise, you're further supporting this podcast so we can continue to make more and push it out to make an impact in other entrepreneurs' life. I firmly believe that everyone can be successful in whatever field and passion they have. There's no such thing as limitations. It's only about the imagination that you have. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. I hope you check us again at our next episode on the I Can Show podcast. See you soon.